Bikini Baristas win a $500,000 settlement after years-long legal battle. So Bikini Baristas have scored a win in Washington state after a long legal battle on acceptable attire. The City Council of Everett, a city north of Seattle, voted this week in favor of a $500,000 settlement with local business owner Giovanna Edge and her employees at the Hillbilly Hotties Cafe stand. Edge and employees Natalie Bajork, Madison Hernandez, Leah Humphrey, Amelia Powell, and Liberty Ziska filed a legal complaint that city ordinances requiring quick service employees to wear at least a tank top and shorts violated their First Amendment rights, according to the Daily Herald. The issue began in 2009 when local police were forced to deal with a spate of complaints that various lewd coffee stands in Everett were the scene of inappropriate conduct, including sex shows and prostitution. Four individuals were arrested following investigations into the establishment, and law enforcement believed the problem had been solved. But by 2013, arrests were still made on charges of prostitution and exploitation of a minor. The city attempted to prevent sexual exploitation of workers by instituting the tank top and shorts dress requirements in 2017, and those requirements were deemed unconstitutional in October. Under the newly amended ordinance, baristas will be allowed to continue working in minimal clothing, but they will be subject to the city's standing lewd conduct laws. If an establishment receives two or more violations, it can be shut down. This has always been about protecting the best interests of our community and preventing exploitation, Mayor Cassie Franklin said. The thing that I find weird about this, right? How would forcing people to wear more clothes when they serve customers stop exploitation of people, right? Because most people would choose to work there because potentially they can make more money. I mean, maybe some people might be coerced into the thing, and that gets into like a whole legal situation. But a lot of people could literally just go to work at Hooters, get exploited in some way there, just not obvious. So I don't really know how forcing people to wear more clothes would have really done anything to begin with. But let's see some of these comments. Unsanitary and lewd. Wish we had that up here. When a woman or a man has a really good and healthy body, flaunt it because we know that won't last. Enjoy youth. Okay. We need more of this. Let's see, hold on. I love our barely any bikini coffee huts. A couple of my friends work at one. It's not an easy job. If you don't like it, don't go. If you do go, be nice. It's not really my thing, but ever since my pals started working at one, I do stop by every few weeks. It's actually pretty close to the one in Everett. Yeah, see, like this is the thing. Like, there's nothing that says that you have to go to that establishment and support them if you don't like it. So why not just go to a different business if you don't want to see that, if you don't want to engage in that? Semi nude hot woman serving coffee beverages in a controlled environment is not the most urgent public safety problem in the Pacific Northwest. Complaints started pouring in when every male customer asked to hold the milk. When I'm being charged $6 for a cup of coffee, the last thing I'm worried about is what the barista is wearing. And what's crazy, Starbucks I think is typically about like an $8 coffee for a good one. Tipping someone $25 for being eye candy and friendly small talk for a few minutes is honestly not the most urgent problem in Everett. If I were running Everett, I'd be asking Boeing, why can't you build tankers for the Air Force without leaving wrenches and gloves in the fuselage? Sounds like a win for the customers too. This town will end up being sued again. You know they would be sending cops there undercover. The cops will find nothing for months and months. Yeah, I could probably see that happening. Offensive to some. Yeah, don't go. It's optional. Unlike my eyes and nose being assaulted by Seattle fentanyl zombie taking a dump in plain view, 15 feet away from the next to the concrete planters at the Seattle Kraken game, she then wandered away with a huge brown stain on the back of her filthy flannel pajama pants. That person is never coming back to society. On a positive note, I know my 10-year-old grandson will never touch drugs after witnessing that. Yeah, interesting. The more skin that shows, the bigger the tip. Probably more likable you are. That would probably also work too. Strippers serving coffee. Ingenious. Hmm. Anyone remember Hooters? Yeah, interesting. It was crazy though, right? I mean, you can pretty much expect that a lot of the ladies that work at that establishment probably get some really weird comments from a whole bunch of creepy dudes as well. Just because the sheer number of people that are probably coming by, there's going to be a percentage of them that are going to be kind of weird. But all of them are probably making really, really good money. So it's like a trade off, right? It's also optional to work there. Hmm. OMG, it's just effing coffee. Their parents must be so proud. The thing is, I mean, I can understand people's parents' point of view in terms of like how that might affect someone's way of life. But if you're a single individual needing to pay bills, you look good enough in a bikini, would it be that bad of an idea to try that out, see how much money you make? If it makes really good money, it might be worth it to you. I'm feeling like having a coffee. Disgusting outfit for this job. More photos, please. I swear, some people. But the reason why I say everything is kind of like interesting about this and why it might be kind of like optional, and that the servers also have to deal with kind of like weird stuff, is because of, let's see, where is it? Hillbillies Hotties Coffee Stand. So this girl basically goes into like details, right? Where she has some interesting customer interactions. Let's see. So the blonde bombshell said customers are always like, "Oh, will you try my drink first?" She mimicked, or like, "I'll go to hand it to them, and they'll go $5 if you try it first." Initially, the request irritated her. At first, I'm always like, "Do you think I peed in it? What the f?" She said, but then I'm like, "Oh, they want my mouth on it." Ba 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 ba. So she happily humors her Randy regulars. It's kind of weird, the stunner admitted, but I go. I love to try a new drink, she added, miming taking a swig of the hot stuff. However, Morris proudly stirs up a hard cold no when clients offer her tips to perform depraved sexual tricks. So there's like a 16-year-old wanting her to take his virginity for $20. Another one about like sticking like a straw up her vagina or something so that they could drink using the straw. So there's definitely like weirdos that probably will go there and make some really weird off the hand comments and demands. But at the same time, these girls are probably bringing in probably more than what a stripper would make, which is kind of funny when you think about it. But it's just something to think about. Like, is the trade off worth it? Is the money that you're making from all this attention on all these kind of like weird comments worth it? Because this is all optional.